All right, what's up, boys? I'm back with your favorite order flow series, best trade of the day. So this video, I'm going to show you the best trade you could have taken today, at least from the New York session, plus an hour and a half. I'm also going to show you some mistakes that I made today, and I'm going to show you that I basically had to experience worst nightmare today. But it's all on me. But I'll explain it all to you in like 1 second. So first, let me walk you through my pre-market plan. Every day, I'm dropping the pre-market plan in my Discord. This is my plan today. As long as price is above 293, I want to find ways to get long, targeting 6.322, and then the previous week high at 6.333. So before the session, we were trading above this, and the level kind of comes from like this. I'm considering it like an edge of value on a smaller distribution that we had through the week. So obviously the main distribution is kind of like 76, the shelf there. And this 93, and I had it 93 to, I believe it was 93 down to this, I was really looking at 93 down to this area right here. I guess it'd be like at 89, something like that. As long as we were above this, I was looking to play long, targeting 322 to 33. For me to get short, I want to see a break of that same level. And I was going to target 276 first and down to 64, which is like right where the volume drops off right here. And essentially I was kind of treating it like a break back into balance. So obviously I'm trying to get down to that opposite end. That was my plan for today until VIX is above 19.6. I'm assuming that dips will get bought. So there's my plan, right? Now let me show you what I did today, because I definitely made a few mistakes. I'll show you that first. And the mistakes I made were, I was trying to look for ways to get long. We were moving very slow after we opened up here, and basically kind of like range bound from 302 to 306. I was seeing some delta build up. It wasn't anything too crazy, so I waited for, basically I was kind of waiting for a sweep of one side of the range and then an immediate reclaim. That's what I was looking for at first. So my first position was this right here. I was kind of reading this as a low a day fail, and I might have put it on a little bit early, but I took a long right here at like 300, where I saw a little bit of delta come in. Like I said, it might have been a little bit early and probably wasn't the best trade. Got stopped out obviously for a few points. And then I did the same thing right here, I believe. So we swept it again. And my whole theory was, if we can sweep low a day but not trade below this 9.6 order right here, then this is my thesis. So like, once again, not the best trade, but I got it long after I saw this delta right here. If you look at the CVD and you see that little bar, I got in long probably at 299. I'll show you guys my fills in a second here, but that was my second trade. And one thing I want to say is that low a day fail setups are probably the best whenever you're just balancing. Like the first one, like I see why I took it. It probably wasn't the best. And on top of the low a day fail, you want to see at least some delta, or you want to have better confirmations. Like my confirmations were not as good. There was a little bit of buying after that first one. We swept up bids and you see an immediate, a little bit of a spike in the CVD. So this kind of piqued my interest, and I took it. But for this to work out, it's going to work out very quickly. So like I was holding this trade all the way through this, you know, like a few points in profit after like 2 minutes of consolidation, or like 2 minutes of nothing. This is not what you want to see for a failed low a day break. That is absolutely not what I'm looking to see. Red flag right there in itself. This one, it looked a little bit better to me, but like I said, if the low a day fail was going to be a thing, it would have kind of worked out probably right here. So I'm just chalking both of these trades as low quality trades. I mean, I had a thesis, I took the trade, I followed my plan for the thesis, but you know, I don't really want to get caught up in trying to take low a day fails unless we're at a specific level of interest. And I also want to see better confirmation than what I saw today. So I made 2 mistakes already. So that was the beginning of my session. So we're making lower lows, lower highs in the beginning of the session here. Then we finally get down to this 96 order. Don't want to fill it the first time. Didn't want to fill it the second time. And I actually took it long right here at 298.25 was my fill. I'll show you guys that in a second. And the reason why I took it long right here was because I noticed that we had an exhaustion print on the footprint chart right here, followed by some strong buying, which I added exhaustion prints and imbalances to my footprint chart. So exhaustion followed by some strong buying, that was enough for me to take it long with this order down here. So whatever, I'm in long 28. This is my fills. I'll just show you guys right now. I'm in long right here at 28.25, right? Scooch this. 98.25 is my fill right there. And my targets for the day for all of my trades were, first, I wanted to see a break above this 312. First, I was looking to play these highs, so it was really 312. I wanted to see a break above 312. And, you know, let me scooch it back a little more. It was actually, I wanted to take profit. My first TP, I wanted to be anywhere from 312 up to 315, 316. So that was my first TP. And my final TP was an order at 320. Looks like it just got filled right now. 320 to 323 was my planned final target. So this is what I mean. This is probably the setup of the day, is right here and then right where I got stopped out at. And so yeah, I saw a few people took this exact trade that I took first. I saw that. A bunch of people took this today. But this is what you would kind of call market structure demand. Since we got this consolidation right here, after putting in a lower low, higher low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high consolidation, you can somewhat read it as like a drop base rally type of action right here. Broke the structure, obviously. And whenever we get a pullback, you want to see this area of consolidation hold. This is not what I was thinking in the moment. So as soon as I was in long at 28.25 or 98.25 right here, and we already made it up 10 points past my entry, so I'm break even on the trade. My stop loss was 98.25 for my live account, and I also have my Lucids in. My Lucid fill was 98.50, so my stop loss would have been break even on all my accounts. So really, from 98.50 for my Lucids, on my live account, it was 98.25. Well, whenever this, so I took a little bit off of my live on a break of this order at 308, and you saw that by my fills. Only 3 contracts, so nothing crazy, just took a little 3 contracts because I decided might as well get a little bit off there because I took 2 L's already on the session. So whatever, get a little bit out here. The Lucids, I'm just letting them go. And we obviously sell off all the way down here. And instead of letting my stop loss take me out, I was just like, fuck it. And I manually exited both times. And this is probably like the second time I've ever just manually exited. If you guys have been following me, you know that I do not like the idea of getting in the habit of manually exiting my trades. I would rather just stop out. Well, today, I guess I was feeling a little bit differently. So this is like, when I said the trader's worst nightmare, like, bro, look how funny. Like, this is just like, you can't make this shit up, bro. My stop loss is at 28.25, and I actually took it off. I thought it was a little closer, but I took it off, and the exact price was 99.75. So I took it off basically like a point. I took it off like literally right here. So I took it off like literally right here at 99.25, I think I said, right? And of course, I was not, like I said, thinking about this as the market structure demand setup. And I've seen people take this all the time. It's a good setup, obviously. But I didn't like, what I was thinking in this moment was, all right, well, we broke below point of control in the session, and selling was strong off point of control. So I was like, all right, we're probably just going to put in a new low a day. That's what I thought was going to happen because, you know, if my trade's 10 points in profit, normally it's just not going to work out if it comes back to my entry. Well, obviously, technically, it didn't come back to my entry. So this is just like unreal to me. But yeah, I took the last, so I took 30% off up here. And then I had obviously the last 70% of my trade was taken off right before I would have went break even. So if I would have just sat here with my hands off of my fucking mouse and my keyboard, I would have gotten a full TP, and my first TP was going to be this 312. I probably would have taken it off above this. I probably would have taken it on a break above high day, which was this 310. So it would have been really like my first TP. I would have taken 3 more or 4 more off here probably. And then the rest I would have waited for 320 around here. But yeah, that is the unfortunate reality that I am blaming myself for, by the way. I'm not blaming anyone but myself. I mean, I'm the one who took the shit out. This is like, when I say it's the second time ever in my life I've probably manually cut a trade. Like, bro, there's no reason. Like, what am I doing? Like, trying to save fucking $50? Like, on top of this, these 2 trades back here are not good trades, in my opinion. I was, you know, I kind of had nothing else in my head that I was really trying to take because we were kind of balancing. Whenever I first had the low a day fail set up in my head, we were balancing. We broke the low a day, and like, sure, I should have known that this wasn't going to work out after a few minutes of moving sideways. So that's my fault, because for these low a day fails, you want to see the buying come in aggressively within the first few minutes of being in the trade. Like, whatever, first trade, it's whatever. It was not the best. It was a thesis that I planned for, that I followed the rules and everything. So like, can't really complain about one trade where I'm trying to be a little more flexible, but there was reasons why I probably should have known to take it off. Whatever. The next trade, the low a day fail didn't work out. I don't want to just, you know, I'm not going to try to keep taking low a day fails every time you put in a low a day. The whole low a day fail idea is like, whenever you're in a balance and you get a failed break and a buildup of delta on a low a day or a high day. So we're going to look for that extreme, that opposite extreme. So this trade is just a bad trade overall, and I'm just going to learn from this right now and tell myself that in the future, I'm only allowed to take 1 low a day fail if I even have the thesis. If I have the thesis, I only get 1 try at it, and I want it to be a balanced range on the profile. If we put in a new low a day, which we did right here, then I got to wait for consolidation to occur before I look for it again, if it's even worth doing that. So I'm just going to learn from that right now. Only during balanced conditions where obviously, you know, this kind of takes us out of that balance range and we start putting a new low. That's when I got to just be like, all right, yeah, well, let's wait for something else to happen. This trade, it was honestly a good entry. Definitely a good entry, but in hindsight, just being aware of this type of market structure demand forming after you get the break of structure, you know, this pullback long right here is definitely a great trade, and it's a shame that I didn't recognize it in the moment. That's my fault, and I should have been able to recognize this in the moment and be like, all right, yeah, consolidated, got the buying we wanted to see, pullback, boom. So, you know, there was some errors today for sure. Definitely some errors. And I mean, I'm happy I took a little bit off at that 308, because at least I protected myself from walking away with like a full 2 losses, really. But instead I got to walk away with pretty much 1 loss. Definitely need to learn from and improve. I kind of just definitely got a little bit too eager with that second entry that I took. Best setup of the day, by the way, if you didn't realize, was this, I would say was this exhaustion into that 296 order right here, followed by the aggressive buying that left a few imbalances. or left it in balance. Best entry was probably off of this exhaustion into that order. And the second best entry was definitely like the pullback into what was formed as basically market structure demand. This was probably the second best setup. Honestly, you could even say vice versa. This was the best setup and this was the second best setup, because you really have a little bit more context here. I should have been able to recognize that, but I didn't in the moment. So whatever, we're going to learn from it. We're going to move on and be better for the next session. Another thing I can point out is that whenever we did get an LVN that formed right here, I had it first at 1250 and really it should be down to like 310. But one thing that I can point out to you guys is that we had a lot of strong selling. See this right here? Some large selling right here that was not able to move price right where that LVN was at. So that's a good confirmation to take it long. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen my videos about waiting for bids to fill and followed by aggression. But another way you can confirm a continuation setup for an LVN is strong selling, in this case at the level. So it would be pretty much the same thing. Like there's passive activity and then you'd want this to be followed up by some aggression. So maybe a long off 314 with your stop below 1175. That could have been good for this 320 to 323 target that I had in my plan, but I didn't even want to take that because kind of outside of my window. But yeah, that was the session. That was the setup of the day. If you guys enjoy these videos, please subscribe if you haven't already. Obviously like the video. If you want to join the Order Flow Mafia Discord, the link will be in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.